What's the strangest fragment of a conversation you've heard as you walked past someone? Woman screaming into her cell phone in Times Square. Don't mug them, they're Danish. No clue what she meant, or why the mugger would call her for approval first, but it was definitely the strangest conversation fragment I've ever heard. Not really strange, but a conversation I'll never forget overhearing. When we went to see Napoleon Dynamite in the theater, there was this mom and like 4 girls sitting in front of us. Looked like a birthday party. The mom said, "Now girls, there might be some bad words in this movie. I want to make sure you all know that you aren't supposed to repeat them afterwards." The girls all nodded or agreed, but then one leaned forward and looked down at the mom and said, "Can we still say Wonder Wiener Dog?" The mom laughed and said, "Of course, you can still say Wonder Wiener Dog. It's been years since that happened, and I still think about that from time to time." If I had to bet money, I'd guess this conversation was overheard in Utah. 2 middle-aged men talking. Your ignorance slips on the shield of my indifference. Whoa dude, what does that mean? Oh, I dunno. I heard that from a guy in the street the other day. Sounds like Eminem could rap this in My Name Is. Walking just off the strip in Vegas around 2 AM with a buddy, and we see this posse of drunk women in short skirts and high heels walking down the street. One is crying. Her friends ask her what they can do to help her and she says, "Just tell me I'm not a s." There's a brief pause before one of her friends leans in close to her and says, "Honey, we can't do that." Almost immediately, the largest black man I've ever seen bumped into us and let us know, "I'm yo Candy Man." We turned down his Vegas street blow and kept on with our adventure. I hope the Candy Man is doing well. 2 women at the YMCA. I have to buy 2 different sized shoes because one of my feet is bigger than the other. That's interesting. My son has the opposite problem. Ultimate glass half full half empty scenario. Wasn't walking but sitting in my car at a stoplight. Couple guys standing next to a mattress on the sidewalk. "Hey man, what's that stain?" "No, that's just Coca-Cola and CM." "That's disgusting. Pepsi or nothing." Took my headphones off in class in time to hear this. Well, if that were true, then Santa would have more money than the American government. Everyone just agreed and the conversation died, so I have no idea of the context. They were probably talking about the idea that Santa charges parents for the toys. 2 people walking by me on the street as I'm on a smoke break. Person says to the other person, "Oh, no, it wasn't Miley Cyrus. It was Salvador Dali." What the frick do Miley Cyrus and Salvador Dali have in common for you to mix them up? I've been baffled by this for 3 years now. Not as interesting as yours, but on Celebrity Name Game, Salvador Dali was the answer, and the only clue the person gave was, they have a museum related to him in St. Petersburg, Florida. Obviously her teammates did not guess the answer. When asked why that was her only clue, she said that's all she knew about Dali. They don't have legs because they've never done anything to deserve them. Martin. Don't know. Don't want to know. It won't ever match the speculation. I told you I don't freaking do H. Actually it wasn't that strange since I was at Walmart and living in Worcester, MA at the time. I work in Worcester and this is a daily occurrence. I have a note on my phone that I've dedicated to this. Some of my favorites. You fricked your couch like last month. If you live in Alaska and you're not smoking weed, what the frick are you doing? Hushed whispering, it's not like I grabbed him by the dong. Who names a shape Bermuda? Did I ever tell you about the time I did H what? I promise this happened. Guy says to girl, "How old are you anyway?" Girl, 16. Guy, man, I don't even know if I can go through with this. My surfboard is too big. You're not even on my wave. This is so great. I'm going to be looking for an opportunity to say you're not even on my wave from now on. In a whiny Long Island accent, I had went out with him because he got, like, money. But I don't wanna see him again because, you know, he don't got no class or nothing. Oh god. 2 20-something-year-olds walking down the street while I was waiting for the bus. No, the reason the guy killed himself was because he ate his wife thinking she was a seagull. I can't even begin to imagine what context would make that make sense. This one actually happened this morning before one of my classes. I can't believe she did yeah. She thought it was coke apparently. While shopping for furniture. Older lady employee. Well, I am sure there is a mouthwash you could buy. Younger male employee. Yeah, probably. Older lady employee. Now have you tried gargling with hydrogen peroxide? Younger male employee. I know. That sounds awful. That is all I heard, but it made me laugh for some reason. Years ago, I was visiting my grandparents in the Ozarks. They have a really nice house, but some of their neighbors can be questionable, and by that, I mean white trash. I overheard a girl about my age, we were probably 17 then, shout to someone from a few houses down, in a southern accent, "Ma baby does not look like an orangutan. Miss, I've seen your baby, and no, it def does look like an orangutan." Whomever made that assessment is spot on. So the new Jason Bateman show is accurate. As I walk past two dudes on campus, one guy's eyes are as red as the devil's dong, and the other even more so. What even is time, bro? Now, that is the question, my dude. As red as the devil's dong. Yeah, he was high and ended up in the ER because he drank 5 4-hour energies. He said he wanted to know what a full day of energy was like. Rip. He just needed one more. Lady in line in front of me at the grocery store, on her phone. So I says, "Why did you drive all the way out there to get a baby cat when I got 8 baby cats in my laundry room at home? If he'd just asked me for a baby cat, I could have given him one." It's not all that strange a situation, but somehow this woman lived to adulthood without learning the word kitten. I'm imagining her saying babakit, as if it was one word, not baby cat, but rather babacat. At the office, I'm passing by a few colleagues and one of them says it's good underage, right? I go to the bathroom, I come back and he is saying open the legs. Boy, I'm freaking confused. What the frick are they talking about? I ask them, worried, and they clarify it to me saying that they were remembering when they were underage they used to go to parties and sometimes being kicked out, but nothing major would happen to any things you do since you were underage. And then, he was also remembering a day a cop stopped him and searched for any drugs on him shouting open your legs. Boy, but the cop just found $5 and actually gave him a ride home. And I told her, penises are not supposed to be that color. Two middle-aged business type ladies walking together in the city. I didn't beat her on purpose. Course you didn't, bro. Just get her some flowers and food and let her whoop your butt a few rounds. Pretty sure they were talking about a video game. However, how distraught the guy was made me concerned for a minute. I had a weird dream last night where 100s of very old ladies were beating the crap out of me. I ended up cuming, and then they just hit me harder and harder. He lost $80,000. Now to me that's not a lot of money, but still, I was like, crawl back into the sitcom you came out of, lady. In math class freshman year they were talking about this kid Jack. Chilling with Jack is like huffing paint. It's so bad for you but I freaking love it. I just started cracking up. As a fellow Jack I approve this statement. It was when he was just becoming homeless. Spoken casually with a smile in Millennium Park, Chicago. I love hearing those snippets. I always dream of walking around with a recorder, recording non-stop, but I'd have no time for editing later. It like walking around in GTA. Kid at my high school, if I had to kill myself, I would super glue my hands to my head and hang myself with piano wire so it looks like I ripped my own head off. I was in high school and I was walking down the hall to my next class and I overheard someone in a group of like 4 people next to my classroom say I think the age of consent should be lowered to 9 inches. Part of me really hopes it was just a prank to say it and weird out a passerby, but another part of me thinks it sounded a little too serious. Yeah, it's just EDGY humor. And she was standing there looking like a fine, high class H, overheard at the gas station as he was on his phone. 2 frat looking dudes walking past me to the bathroom in a pub. Dude 1, who was that chick you were checking out? Dude 2, what chick? Dude 1, I dunno man. I just saw you checking out some chick. Dude 2, no man. I'm gay as frick. I've been keeping a list of these, and that's why you don't do blood sports on the first date. It wasn't bloody, it was just decomposed. There was a unicorn stuck in my throat and it tried to puke. Go ahead and binge drink. I am fine with free, albeit oddly acquired jewelry. You wanna buy 3/4 of a cat? Christian heck isn't all that innovative. You just stay in a place that's hot, filled with strangers, and it's controlled by an egomaniacal dictator. It's basically Cuba. Walked past 2 old women and I hear it didn't even touch the sides. That's the last time I couldn't hear anything else. Work in a restaurant. Walk past a booth around closing time with 2 girls, probably young 20s. Girl 1. What's the worst thing you've ever done? Girl 2. I sold C once. Didn't hear anything else. They went to an all-Jewish skydiving school. It's been 4 years and I still don't know if it was a setup to a joke or a real story. Crazy Jacob's Kosher Skydiving School. The other night out at a dive bar with a friend, there was a group seated behind us and a man was clearly hitting on a woman. I tuned it at this part. Woman. Yeah, I've tried a few sites like FetLife and stuff, but heck now. None of them are really on that level, you know. They're not into this sort of thing. Man, I'd let you do it. Heck yeah. Frick my arm. I'd let you. Woman. Yeah, but that's not exactly it. I'd do it, but your arm wouldn't be attached to you anymore. So yeah, we drank our beers and called it a night. Well then. Walking by a young girl in her early 20s talking on her cell phone in a whiny voice. No mom, I did not spend all of the money you sent me at the bar. No, that was last week. What do you mean you're not going to send me any more money? But I'll starve. I don't have any food. She was carrying a Louis Vuitton bag. You know what? That's fine. I'll just go get a job. She hung up on her mom. I'm looking at this chick thinking, well, you sure showed her. Bag could have been fake, a gift or something she saved up for. To be entirely honest, I'm not sure if the following exchange was part of a joke or not. If it was, then the young woman doing the talking was perhaps the most dedicated and talented actor that I've ever encountered. If it wasn't, well, it left me with more than a few questions that I'll probably never have answered. I was waiting for the Muni, San Francisco's pseudo subway railcar, while standing next to a young woman who looked to be about 20 years old. She and I had exchanged polite nods when I'd arrived, which had apparently rendered me invisible to the girl. I say this because when her cell phone rang, and I do mean cell phone, not smartphone, as this took place in 2005, she made absolutely no effort to hide her part of the conversation. Hello. What? You're fricked up? What? You're fricked up? What do you mean? You're not making sense. What? Wait. You fricked up? Who the frick is up? No. Fricking tell me. Who the frick is fricking up? Who the frick is up? Why did you frick up? The conversation ended at that point, having been terminated by the young woman snapping her cell phone shut. As I said, I was left with more than a few questions, but I didn't think it would be polite to ask them. TLDR. I overheard a young woman getting mad at someone for having sex with a person named Up. Walking past a group of young men holding a stack of large pizza boxes. Which one first? Pizza or circular jerk? It's been years and I still think about how I hope they ate the pizza first. I was sitting on one of those mall benches by a Victoria's Secret. 2 middle-aged ladies walk past the big sign with the half-naked model and I hear one say to the other man, I'm not gay but I friggin' love boobs. Overheard on an elevator in a police headquarters. If they're so concerned about the law being broken, they are welcome to actually show up and enforce it for a change instead of bitching over how we go about solving our own problems. On a university bus, I heard this exact phrase. Girl, I tellin' ya, your eye juices is too acidic or something. Her friend was complaining about and rubbing her contact lenses. I once walked into a public washroom only to overhear an old man at a urinal having a conversation with himself. It went something along the lines of, look at that big dong, oh yeah, followed by grunts and inaudible words. Roleplay for 1. 2 women aged about 40, laughing and with glee, so we both got raped. Then they burst into the biggest fit of laughter I'd ever seen. Everyone reacts to rape differently, or they play FPS. So when you pee on your period, Like, does it get mixed? I can't believe you're such a dumbass. We're in public. Beat. I can't believe you're being such a bee. It's my birthday. Hey mom, you'll never guess where I met that woman. In jail. In a Walmart around Christmas time about 2 years ago. The follow-up of an elderly lady beside me dryly saying I wouldn't brag about that so loudly made me laugh until I was crying. I remember eating the donut, but what I don't remember is how it came into my possession. I think I heard this in the RV parking lot of a lake. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.